Okay. All right, as you guys know, usually we're an entertainment news show, except for the times that we're not. And honestly, I guess that part of this counts as entertainment news, considering it affects a lot of people in the entertainment industry, as it affects a lot of people on the planet, as then a lot of people in this country, specifically people with vaginas and uteruses. So today we're talking about Roe v. Wade and the news that the leak that came out last night, the Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights that have been in place for decades. And I want to talk to you guys, but I also was trying to figure out what I have to say that's different, because there's a lot of noise on the internet right now and there's a lot of people throwing stones. I was looking through the people that I follow, and many of the people I follow, like me, were posting about how fucking ludicrous this is. But then I saw a lot of people that I follow posting about how this is the way it should be. And I think that that's fucking disgusting. I think that's fucking disgusting. But what is it that I can add to the conversation? And I was on the phone with my grandmother today, my 94-year-old grandmother, who has marched in every march until she couldn't march anymore. And I wanted to talk to her and get her opinion on everything, as I think she has a unique perspective on it. And I thought it would be helpful if we talked to her together. So I'm going to give her a call back, and we're going to talk to her and see what she has to say about this. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. Let me know what your questions, comments, concerns are for me, for Grammy. Just thoughts on what's going on in general. And obviously, this is my grandmother that I'm calling, and I'm very protective over her always. But if anybody has any heat with my grandmother, of course, thank you, Jake Yakavetta, for being in the chat. You get banned. I'm not fucking around with Grammy. So let's keep, I know this is a topic that a lot of people have strong opinions on, but let's make sure that none of those are directed negatively towards a 94-year-old woman, because otherwise you're a piece of shit. So that's the truth. All right. Let's see what's going on with you guys before I call her. Hopefully she picks up, because I told her I wanted to talk to her, but didn't tell her what time. I'm going to go into the Streamlabs, see what's going on with you guys in here. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Also in the super chat as well. Get in your thoughts. In the Streamlabs, we've got the Zen one himself, who is saying on this May 3rd, this Tuesday, May 3rd, he says, happy, great Tuesday, Roxy. He's wishing love to my family, thanking everybody who's choosing to battle, for having us breathe in. Could all use that today. Now, taking care of ourselves, says it's important, that we're worthy. And then he has us breathe again. And it says that I'm the fucking best, which I don't know about that, but I try. And that he hopes that we see and perceive harmony, and feel free to fly. Be you always and in all ways. Part of being you always and in all ways is having the freedom to choose what you do with your own body. How we could possibly be moving back in time for that is beyond me. Robert Turner says, YouTube keeps buffering. Does it? Let me know. Do you guys need me to change? How's my internet for you guys right now? Is it buffering on your end, or is it buffering on mine? Thank you, everybody who is here today so far. Andrew Thomas, Glenn Caesar, Austin Kramer, David Epikeme, Ryan Payne, to Steve Cauldron, Robert Turner, AB, Greg, not Rick Zamores, Y2 Flax, Sandra Van Dreist, not buffering on your ends. That's great. Mike Joyce. Okay. So send in your Streamlabs, send in your thoughts, and let's get Grammy on the phone and see what she has to say. Good dead air for you guys. Hi, Paul, Jeremiah Hayes. Thanks for being here. Spotted from TikTok. Hi, Graham. I've called you from my show.
Oh.
Yeah, I told you I might be calling you from my show to get your thoughts.
Oh, right. I thought that would be, in the evening.
Why do you need more time?
No, I don't. To vent my anger. That's all day since I heard the news last night. I want to thank whoever it was that leaked the information from this Supreme Court. What, are they going to wait till the last minute? They're taking away our freedom. I mean, that was part of the Constitution, and they want to take it away. Notice it's the Republican state. Notice it's mainly men. A woman has the choice. They don't have to have. You don't want an abortion? Don't have an abortion. You need an abortion for so many reasons. Even in cases of rape or cases of incest, a 12-year-old girl could be raped by her father, become pregnant, and she's got to carry it. I heard some idiot say once, well, she can carry it and then she can give it up for adoption. Meanwhile, she's the one that's carrying it for 9 months and has been raped by her father or her uncle or a cousin or just a friend, whatever it is. And Planned Parenthood, don't call it abortion clinics necessarily. They do mammographies. They check your blood pressure. There are doctors there that take care of you. And if you're not ready to have a child, it's up to you not to have a child. Your body, your decision. I wish 30 years ago and 40 years ago, when they would be bringing people, organizations into California to stand in front of Planned Parenthood, or what they call the abortion clinics, with their arms folded so that people that were trying to get in to be helped could not be helped. And there would be hundreds of us trying to push our way. I was pushed into the streets. And I said to somebody, I said, you're forcing somebody to have a child who's not ready to have a child. So give it up for adoption. I said, is the child blonde and blue-eyed? That's easy to give up for a child. How about a brown or a black child? I said, they're not so easy to give up for adoption. So am I furious? I am absolutely furious. 49 years ago, that was part of the Constitution. We have never removed any of the constitutional laws. This would be the first time. Again, all the states are Republican. Even if women are Republican or men are Republican, if you have any conscience whatsoever, you vote Democratic, because 2022 is just as important as 2024. We have got to keep control of the Congress.
Grammy, so
possibly
take me back for a second. So what did it used to be like prior to abortions being legal? Did you have friends? Like, what was it like when people would get pregnant?
Okay. I remember sitting one time I worked for Macy's in the advertising department right before I was getting married, right after I started singing. And I remember reading about someone's, it was like very famous cake. I don't know whether it was Ebbinger's or whoever, their daughter, who had gone for a back alley abortion, I don't know, to Mexico or wherever she went. Whatever I know is that she bled to death because it wasn't done by a doctor or somewhere that was sanitary. And I myself, when Danny and I started going together after quite a while, we secretly got married in February, and I became pregnant. We were in no position to have a child then. We were still living in his bedroom from before, where he was married with his mother and father. And so I had my engagement ring, which we had to hawk because we found a doctor who was willing to do the abortion for $500. We didn't have the $500. So from the pawn shop, we got the money and didn't even have a car and took a taxi to this doctor's office. I had the abortion. I was a month and a half pregnant, probably. I just missed my first period. And drove home afterwards. And it was not the time for us to have a child. We were not in the position to give it the love and the attention to ourselves and especially to a child.
Grammy, what was it
later,
like?
I had my first son.
What was it like at the time when you had your abortion? Could you tell anybody about it? Did you feel safe going to that doctor? Why was that doctor willing to do something illegal at the time?
Probably because it was illegal, so he was doing it. It was an illegal thing. But maybe he felt justified in doing it. Maybe he did it just for the money. I don't know. But I found a doctor to do it. Otherwise, you heard about people going to their friends, especially when they're brown and black, and with hangers. They would do these backyard abortions, and they would bleed to death, and they would die. They're saying, oh, they're giving abortions when someone's carrying to 9 months. Bullshit. The only time that they ever do an abortion at 9 months or 8 months or anything like that is when there's something wrong with the child, and for the health and the safety of the woman. So yeah, that's been going on before I was born. To heaven's sakes, abortions.
And what was it like?
Ready.
Grammy, what was it like when you were fighting to have abortions be legalized? What was that like? Did you go to any of the protests, or how did you guys, you and your friends?
Voted for it. They put it on back it was in 1943, 1973, excuse me, and the majority in this country, even the Republicans at that time were Republicans. They were Democratic, not Democrats, and they did the right thing. They made it a law. They also, Roe had an abortion, a backyard abortion, and she was put up as the example. Many years later, they paid her to say, I really didn't want it. It was really wrong. Bullshit. Then afterwards, she said, yes, I was paid to say. So they've been doing this. I don't know whether it was the evangelist. I don't know who it is, but it's mainly men that are pushing it. Not women, but men that are pushing it. And women, some women are going along. It's obscene. They have never in this country taken away a constitutional right, ever. And now they're trying to do this. Whoever leaked it, bless them.
Grammy,
like
you just talked about how really she had never regretted it and she didn't wish otherwise. How do you feel? Now that you're 94 years old and this is something that happened 7 decades ago, more than that, how do you feel?
That it was the right thing to do, because it would have been the wrong time to raise a child. We were not in the position to raise a child.
Yeah.
We were living. Danny wasn't making enough money, and I was working, and that could have easily been the end of a marriage. You're putting it. You want to have a child when you want to have a child.
Yeah.
So I have had no regrets. I had 3 wonderful kids, and I would have liked 4, but whatever it was, I had 3. And I have never regretted doing what I had to do at the time.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean when you say I would have loved 4? You don't mean the one, you don't mean you wish.
No, I mean, when you have a child, you hope that you financially can afford to have one,
Oh,
that you can do the best for them. We were that's why we stopped at 3
like you had the right amount of kids for your means at the time.
at the time. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. What do you think's going to happen here, Grammy, now that these documents have been leaked? What do you think's going to happen, and what are you hoping's happening?
I know what I hope will happen. I hope women will rise up, march in the streets, and I hope that the senator, for instance, from Alaska, Murkowski, and the senator from Maine, and there have to be decent Republicans that will go along with it. And if enough people march and if enough people say something, maybe the Supreme Court, they never fully told, when they were being these 3 that were put onto the Supreme Court by Trump, they would never fully told the truth, that when they had the opportunity, they would vote, try to end the constitutional right for a woman to have a choice. So simple. My body, my choice. It's so simple.
And
no one's telling you to have an abortion.
And if Roe v. Wade does get overturned officially, what do you think that will mean?
I think it will. The women will rise up and do again, and I don't know what it means. This is such a different country now, ever since Trump became president, and you've got nothing but people that are kissing his ass because they think that's the thing that will get them elected. To them, the Republican Party is more important to them than doing what is right.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts, Graham, before I let you go? Everybody in here, by the way, is really saying that they appreciate you sharing your story and that you're, as the kids call it, that you're spitting facts. You ever heard that term? You're spitting facts. I mean,
no, I never have.
Like you're spitting the truth. It means you're saying facts or saying the truth.
No, I'm so infuriated. I can't believe that this is happening.
What do you ask for from the youth? What do you hope that the youth do?
I hope we will start marching again. I hope we will start. 2022 is more important even than 2024 because very possibly, I don't know whether if Congress has enough Democrats, whether we can overturn what the Senate is doing. Not the Senate, excuse me. I hope that the Senate stays, that we stay in the majority, that we can do something about the Supreme Court if they do that. Can't believe that guy came from North Caldwell. Oh,
that's gotta irk you. All right. Yeah. Well, I love you, Grammy. Thank you for talking to us.
I hope everyone that calls in agrees.
Everybody so
and
far
does something about it.
And
if there are marches, march.
Michael Miller in here says it's infuriating. Steve Calder says, thank you, Grammy, for telling us your story. And David says, thank you, Grammy, for sharing your story. William says, everything Grammy has said is true. Glenn says 100 million% correct. D Tam says, thank you, Grammy, for sharing. Everybody calls you Grammy, which I love. Yeah, everybody is with you. And James says Grammy is on point, which on point means like you're right.
I got that.
Yeah.
That I understand.
Yeah. Joseph says we're going backwards and it's scary, which I know you agree with. Brittany says, we love you, Grammy. Thank you for taking for your time and sharing your experience.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
And please make sure everybody votes. 2022 is just as important as 2024. Please, if you haven't registered, register and make sure that you vote in November.
Yeah. King Sport.
I love you, Roxy.
I love you too. King Sport Cal in here, Grammy says Grammy's old enough to know the truth. And that's why I called, because I'm 30, so people don't listen to me. But at 94, people have to shut up and listen to you, I feel like.
I hope so.
All right. Love you, Graham.
Love you, baby. Bye bye.
I mean, she's just the fucking best. But, you know, I have a lot of friends who have had abortions. I would say maybe 10% of my friends, of my um, uh, women friends, have had abortions. And a lot of them still to this day don't ever talk about it. You know, people that you guys know, people that you're watching, people that I have been friends with as kids, and they don't talk about it because even with the legalization, there's still such an opposition to it that people don't feel comfortable. And Grammy talks about her abortion, has talked to me about her abortion since I was a kid. And same thing with my mom, who did not have an abortion, but always talked to me about what my options were, what my choices were, how to prevent things, how to protect myself. And I I've always loved listening to Grammy about her story because there is no shame for her because there's nothing to be ashamed about. She feels so proud of the family she raised and was able to raise because of the choices she made. And so when I asked her today, I said, "Do you mind talking about it publicly?" She said, "No, I don't mind. Um, I don't mind." And I hope that people start to feel more like that and that we don't move in this opposite direction. Instead, we move forward in that not only do we say our body, our choice, but then we feel pride in those choices that we make. And and you know, there's all those people who say you have to put yourself first. You have to put on your own mask before putting on the mask of those next to you. This we learned. And you have to be able to take care of yourself before you can take care of another. It's the truth. So I'm really grateful to Grammy that she's willing to share her story, and I hope that that was um, that mattered to you guys too. Let me check what's going on in the Streamlabs, the super chat. Christian Hardesty said, conservatives supposedly want less government control with shit like gun control, vaccines, etc., but they want the government to control women's bodies like this. This is so messed up. Anyway, say hi to Grammy. Hope she's well. Besides this news, thank you, Christian. Yeah, it is wild, the hypocrisy in all of it. And, you know, even it is so different than vaccines because, you know, you can't catch pregnancy. I can't be pregnant and give somebody else pregnancy because of what happens to me. Or I can't have an abortion and somebody else catches an abortion from me, which you can with COVID. So it's a completely different situation. But even that being said, because I believe my body, my choice, and it is different because your body then is affecting other millions of others of bodies. But because I believe that, that's why I don't believe that we should force everybody to get vaccinated. But I do believe then that means that businesses can make decisions and people can make decisions on who they see and who's allowed inside of what. But for these people who are so anti vaccines and their body, their choice, for them to not then believe in your body, your choice, it makes no fucking sense. And when it comes to the religious freedom argument, it's complete bullshit because in my religion, with my religious freedom, not only am I allowed to have abortions as a Jew, but we are required to have abortions if it puts you, from a religious standpoint, if it puts the mother in harm's way to have the child, she is supposed to have an abortion if the mother's at risk. So, how is it religious freedom when it's only for one religion and that's Christianity? It doesn't fucking make sense on any front, by any argument's sake. And I know this is not entertainment news for the day, but it is what's fucking happening in the world and what I'm thinking about. And I know what so many of you guys are thinking about because we're also in the middle of this and we don't know what's going to happen here, which makes it a scary time. A definite scary time. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. I want to hear from you. Any last minute questions, comments, concerns? Thank you to everybody. for being here and for listening to Grammy and for being respectful. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't have role models that are open about the choices that they've made in their lives. And I was so lucky to have such strong women in my life who were always open about their choices and explained to me why they made those choices. People always say, if your mother had had an abortion, you wouldn't be here today. But very likely, if Grammy hadn't had an abortion, I wouldn't be here today because, as you guys heard, she said she could only have 3 kids. That's what she could afford to have. You have to be able to have provide diapers and a house and food for your children. And so my mom was the third of her kids. And had she stopped after 3 and she hadn't had the abortion, then very likely I wouldn't be here today. So there's 2 sides to that fucking coin. And every coin that the fucking anti-abortion people try to throw at us, there are 2 sides. Hi, Winston. Yeah, I heard the bit of good news in Cali. I saw Newsom post about that, and I was like, look at Newsom out here trying to pretend to be the good guy all of a sudden. But he does believe in a lot of good guy shit. He's just not the best. But yeah, I saw him posting about it. Let's see. Phony Beetle says, thing is, pre-Roe v. Wade, things women used to be given all sorts of snake oil. That's what Grammy was just talking about, especially as Grammy is a white woman, especially for Black and brown women, how fucking dangerous it was, and the amount of people who had abortions via coat hanger. And a lot of people died because people who want an abortion that bad, people who know that they cannot have a child, people who choose their body, they are going to go through with having an abortion, whether it's legal or not. And so the only thing we can do is create a place for safe abortions. Luckily, Grammy was able to pawn her wedding ring in order to get a doctor to do her abortion, even though it was not legal at the time. But like I said, I made a TikTok earlier. Grammy still to this day does not have a wedding ring. Papo and Grammy have been together in June. It will be 75 years. And Grammy pawned her ring for an abortion because it was $500, which back then is so fucking expensive because it was backdoor. And she to this day does not have a wedding ring because of that. She said it just never felt right getting in there. Fucking wild. But that was her priority. Her priority was not to have a diamond on her finger. Her priority was to make sure that she didn't bring somebody into this planet that she couldn't take care of, and was to make sure that she had an okay life. All right, friends, we are getting out of here soon. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in questions, comments, concerns. Shout out to Mark Jason Ali with that big support in here. Thank you so much, Mark. You're amazing. He said, hi, Roxy. How are you? I saw Doctor Strange 2 tonight. Really enjoyed it. Haven't seen your reaction yet. Hope you're well. I posted on my Instagram and I posted it on my TikTok and I posted a YouTube short with my reaction to Doctor Strange. If you guys want to check that out. I was going to do a whole review here today, non-spoiler on the show, but just nothing feels right to talk about on the show today other than this. I am a fucking woman with a uterus who feels very passionate about this. And so, and from a family who generations and generations has felt passionate about this. And like Grammy said, she needs us all to stand up and fight right now. And she said the women need to do that. And I am absolutely with her there. But more so than that, the fucking men, it's time for you guys to stand up for us. And for it not to just be women in the street fighting for our bodies and our choice, but for you guys to be fighting for women's bodies, women's choices. Because guess what? Unfortunately, men don't listen to women. Men listen to men. And so if you're one of the good ones, doesn't even mean you have to be one of the great ones, just a fucking normal human with human decency, then you'll be vocal about this and you'll post about it and you'll make sure people know it's unacceptable to take away our right to our body. And when there are protests, you will attend. And when you are asked about it at family events, you will tell them very clearly what you believe. So that. Okay. Let's see. Any more Streamlabs rolling through? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat. Let me know if you have any other questions, comments, concerns. Jackson Jones says, genuinely want a dialogue. I know it's a complicated issue, but some of the arguments for don't make sense to me, like man telling a woman what to do when there are millions of women who march for life. Okay, let me see if I can decipher this. Genuinely want a dialogue. I know it's complicated. It's a complicated issue. I don't think it's a complicated issue, but some of the arguments for what don't make sense to me. Like man telling a woman what to do. I think what you're saying is some of the arguments that are pro-choice don't make sense to you because those arguments sometimes include people saying that a man shouldn't be able to tell a woman what to do, but you're saying that a lot of people march for life. So I think that's what you're saying. I'm not fully sure with your grammar, Jackson. This is, as Grammy stated, pro-choice. It's not being pro tell other people what to do with their bodies. So if a woman is pro-life, that is, which is a fucking bullshit term, but it is her prerogative because it's her body. And me, as somebody who's pro-choice, has no problem with a woman who decides to have a baby because that is your body, your choice. But a man who does not have a uterus, and of course, there are people who are biologically born or assigned different genders than what they are, and I'm right now just talking about biologically speaking. If a man who does not have a uterus is saying that he is pro-life, he is not talking about his own uterus. He is telling other people what to do with their bodies. So while I think that a woman claiming to be pro-life is fucking bananas to me, women who are pro-life, I mean, everybody's pro-life. This is fucking insane. We're all in favor of life. But a woman who's anti-abortion is bananas to me because she doesn't believe in that women should be able to make a choice, even if it's not the choice she would make. That's crazy. A man, it's not even a choice. It's not even their body ever, period. End of sentence. I hope that answers your question, but I'm still not exactly sure what you're asking. King Sportcal says, if a man is smart, they generally do listen to women. My mother was the smartest person I ever known. Grammy seems like a hip lady. I don't know about hip, but I think that she is fucking great and smart and clearly has a lot to say on the matter as somebody who has executed her right to choose and has lived 7+ decades after that to be able to tell us how she legitimately feels as a firsthand account. Any other Streamlabs super chats, questions, comments, concerns? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. We will be back. Tomorrow is May the 4th be with you. So really changing gears. We won't be here on this show, but we will be for the World Girls, which we're gonna have some fun. And then on Thursday, I will be here. No, I think I'm actually gonna take that off because I might do something. And then Friday, I might be on a show that I haven't been on in a long time. I'll keep you guys posted about that. And then I'll do only stupid answers as well. So you'll be getting a lot of me this week. Also, keep up with me on my TikTok. That's where I'm posting a couple times a day right now. Stories and TV reviews and stories like this with Grammy. So that's just at Roxy Stryer. Okay. So much love to you guys, my friends, and a very good afternoon to anybody who believes that women have the right to choose what they do with their own body, and a not so good afternoon to those of you guys who do not believe that. Stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat and lid. We don't want those buffoons. Don't trend with the Holocaust. Just for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. Pro-choice, because my body, my choice. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the World Girls. Later.